Hello, this is Mark here at Gary's Guitars in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and I'm here to answer the question, why? Someone left that in a comment. Made a bunch of videos lately about how it's difficult to be an independent small business, to be an independent guitar store, to be a brick and mortar based guitar store, not much online sales. And someone in the comments was like, well, why do you do this if it's so difficult? So this video is dedicated to that subject, and also I'm going to talk about the future of this business a little bit too, because that's part of the why. So first of all, I joke about this, but it's only half of a joke. I bought the store to give Gary a job. Gary was thinking of giving up the store. Most small businesses will go for about 30 years, and then they either have to revitalize or go out of business, and that's kind of something that I've seen a pattern in and observing a lot of other small businesses. And that was the case here. Gary was ready to just say, I don't like the business side of this. I'll just go work for Guitar Center and set up guitars or something. And so I was able to give Gary a job doing what he loved in a store that he named after himself, which is great. Also, I get to see all the cool stuff as it comes in. There is something I would say about once a year I'll treat myself to something that comes to the door. Like, that one's mine. The drug dealer's rule is never get high in your own supply, meaning when you're buying the stuff to sell it, don't keep it. So shopping in your own store is not necessarily what you want to do, but it's a little rewarding. And like I said, about once a year I buy something for myself. Now, speaking of employees, Gary having a job is great. He's retirement age. He's semi-retired. He's part-time. And he sets up guitars. He's an independent contractor, actually, here. Does guitar setups and repairs and modifications. But there's 5 other people who have a job here through the store because of that. And that's great, too. It's about community in a way. It's about having people. I like having people work for me, and I like that people who work for me do well and they learn and they move. Sometimes they move on to doing other things, or they move up in the operation. That's all great stuff. So having employees is a cool thing, especially if you have cool employees. The way that I've found my employees and kind of cultivate the people around me has been a success in this business. And we have a small team of very dedicated people here who would probably take a bullet for me. I don't want to find out. But I'm loyal to them. They're loyal to me. And we all get along great. And that's a great feeling. It's different than a lot of workplaces in that respect. Some places you just kind of like, all right, I'm going to go to the whatever it is, the sausage factory, and stuff those sausages. So it has a meaning. And the meaning, beyond just going to work. So there's a community aspect to it, and there's helping other people on their life journey as well. What I'll say, so this actually isn't my only business. I have a few small businesses. And people ask me, when are you at the store? I'm at the store every day. People come here and I'm not here all the time because I can't just stand behind the counter all day. But I'm here every day, even days like Sunday when the store isn't open. I'm in here doing the recycling, making videos. I pay attention to the store on a daily basis. I still do all the ordering myself and making decisions. So I have other small businesses as well. I have a recording studio, which definitely doesn't make money. I have a small, I guess you would call a real estate company. We have some rentals that we rent out and take care of. And what else do I do? I just opened a record store, by the way. We're going to make more videos about that soon. But this month we opened a record store just right here in the same plaza. A little shop front opened up, and I was like, well, it's time to do that crazy thing I've been wanting to do for years, and it's going all right. And then I do some consulting work, I guess you would call it. I do a little kind of office work for a couple hours in the daytime for another company. So altogether, this makes an entrepreneurial life. The big point about that is an entrepreneurial life is the life that I've come to enjoy living. What do I mean by an entrepreneurial life? Well, having the entrepreneurial business style makes you live your life in an entrepreneurial way as well, which is micro risks and creative thinking and problem solving, and not just to be an ATM for other people, or but to get your financial priorities together. And I'm not saying run your life like a business, because but run your business like a life. I guess is the thing. For example, I bring my own garbage to the dump because I did the math, and paying someone else $75 a month to come to my house and pick it up isn't worth the time and effort that I spend every other week bringing it to the dump. So that's what I do. I load up my truck with my garbage, and so that's kind of, wouldn't you think that's the thing that you would want to? And I do the garbage sorting and recycling here as well. And wouldn't you think that would be the thing to hand off to a third party company? But that's part of the entrepreneurial life approach as well. Doing the things that make money, paying for the things that you need to pay to have done. So, also in an entrepreneurial life, just not being a cog in a machine is a great feeling. And it's kind of worth making half the money that I could be making somewhere else, because I probably make half as much as I would if I went to a big company. And I used to work for this. I don't know if I mentioned this on these videos. 25 years ago, I worked for a small internet bookseller called Amazon.com in Seattle, Washington, and I didn't like it, and I left. Had I stayed, we'd be having this conversation, a different conversation. But so I know what the rat race is like, because I've been there, and I've worked in a lot of really interesting, strange jobs. But that's part of the entrepreneurial life. So I got a bunch of small businesses. This is one of them, and even though my income is definitely lower than it would be if I was doing this for someone else, I get a bunch of freedom out of it, and I get a bunch of psychological advantage to it, I guess. So now back to the big thing, why a guitar store. I do have a hope for independent retail and for brick and mortar retail, and I'm kind of sticking to it. And my joke is I'm going to ride this horse as far as it will go, but I've just seen I think shopping is going back to becoming the third place thing. As these third place places are kind of being diminished more and more, I'm shocked when I go to once in a while I'll go to Barnes and Noble or Target. If you go to Target on a Saturday, that place is crazy. I have a 4.5-year-old son, and he wants to go to Target because he knows he can trick me into buying him some kind of toy if we get into Target. But so he'll get me in there, and the place is hopping. So I think people do want to pick things up and look at them. And people want to buy something in that moment, and hold it and make it their own and walk out with it. And so I don't think retail is dead, or, physical retail. I think it just has to reshape, and I'm here trying to figure out how to reshape it. I've been very resistant to online selling. I do some. We're going to do more. Like I said, I opened another retail spot, so I hope I'm right. But if I'm not right, I'm playing with the house money. What that means is if you're gambling and you do well, then the money you're gambling with is the money you won from the casino. And when you're playing with the house money, you can be a little, less careful. And so in this, I would not have all this stuff and be in the position I am without these little micro successes that have kind of led me to where I am. So I'm playing with the house money, so I can afford to lose, so I can take chances, and that's part of the entrepreneurial life too. So why? Because that's the story of why. That's why I'm into this. Check out our other videos here on YouTube. YouTube is also a friend of mine. They give me a little money once in a while, so check out all the other videos here on YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. And thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your day, and we'll talk soon.